we met the bar, women said, tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet, I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less, bathroom sex, best it gets, spontaneous, I stereotype, put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as a rise like fireworks.
Boom. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of After Storm. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. I'm in my full country voice. Hey, how about the Thunder tonight? Coming back, getting that W. And we won tonight. I was excited to see that 121, 120 on the road. Finally got something to win. Finally got a win at the end. I mean, we lost to Milwaukee Bucks after Shea hit a three, and of course Shea hits the big three tonight. Wow, what a shock! No foul by the officials at the end of the game. Shocker. Of course, the Thunder lost that game. We come back and we lost Boston because, the coaching and what they were doing. Even though tonight, I will say that I wasn't upset with his coaching philosophy and what he did, except that in the fourth quarter, you got to put SJ. I mean, you get the lead, they call timeout, and you leave your same guys in there. No, that's when you bring Shea in the game. And then do they go up, he comes right back in the game. You get him back in, he comes right in the game and scores immediately after he gets in there. Dude, what are you doing? They call timeout. We have the lead 6 minutes ago. Shea's in the game. Your starter's in the game. Let's go. What are you doing? But anyway, he got lucky. But I will say that overall, Coach D's game plan for what he did as far as letting the subs play more. Lindy Waters came in and played really, really well. Go Pokes. Even though you guys know how I feel about it. I think he's a nice young man, good little player, but he is a G League two-way at best player. And tonight he stepped up and played good. And so the Thunder pull up and get away with a W at Washington. And, of course, Washington had won 4 straight games, and they had just got Bradley Beal back. So I was wondering, I said that today on the Unpopular Hour, how that would affect them after winning 4 in a row without him. And then Bradley Beal coming back. But he was big. And, of course, our superstar was bigger than their superstar because he broke the tide. Shea comes back, and wins the game at the end. Funny how street ball plays. You score on me? Oh, really? You just scored on me? Guess what? I'm going to get you right back. That's street ball. That is the law of the street. You score on me, I'm going to come back and score on you. That's how it works. Anyway, Thunder get away to victory 121-120, improving to 7-8. The Wizards, however, are now 8-7. And like I said, and today on the Unpopular Hour, we should be 8-6. Now 9-6. And nobody expected us to have this many wins at this point. And I predicted 31-33, and I said at the max, if we played out of our minds, we would get 40. And when I said that, I was at cutting up the barbershop, and they all turned and looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? The Thunder are not going to win 40 games. And I was like, if they can get it done, they've got a nice squad. I'm giving all my explanations on why I felt that way. And right now the Thunder have got 7 wins out of their first 15. And like I said, they should be 9-6 right now. This is ridiculous. Anyway, the keys to the game, if you watch my show, the Unpopular Hour, our daily afternoon show with myself and Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. And then, of course, Ben Dillman comes on and joins us for the hockey segment. And like I said, we will be adding soccer, but, that's beyond that. But the keys to the games were get off to a good start, cut down on our turnovers. And remember, I don't know if you guys know this, but I had said, I said it last session, or the analysis for the last game that we lost to the Celtics, is that if we got 19 turnovers again, because we had 19 turnovers 2 games in a row, I said if we do that against the Celtics, we will get beat, and we had 20 and lost. So cut down on the turnovers, limit their open looks, because when we give teams open looks, we're just not athletic enough to cover people. So we've got to hustle and fly all over the place and do everything we can do to cut down on them giving wide open looks. Attack the paint once again, do our deal, get our pips, which, that's my favorite stat, points in the paint. and then play within ourselves, which means don't go off and try to do a bunch of stuff that you're not capable of doing because the game is tight or game is going on. I hate that about the Thunder, and I hate when they do that. But that's all predicated to when SJ is in the game, him taking over and going, "Hey, give me the damn ball, let me do my thing." And then when he's not in the game, then that would be up to Josh to take the game over and don't let guys run up and down the court and do whatever they need to do. And forget all that nonsense. Let's go. We can't do that. So. But anyway, the Thunder start out the game with SGA, Wiggins, Josh, Dort, and Poku, which has been our starting five the last couple games. I like that. I really like Wiggins in the lineup because he gives you so much length between him and Josh and SGA. Your length out there on the wing is outrageous, and then of course Dort's physicality to match up to whomever he's going against the best player on the other side. So that helps. And then Poku, if he can continue to block shots, my hat is off to him. He only had, I think, 8 tonight, and we'll go over the box score later. But once again, a nice solid outing for Poku. You guys know I'm not a fan of his, but I will say that he has been. God, my back's itching. I hate that. You get that one spot that you can't get to. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, he's played really good. Can't complain about Poku and what he's done. And but anyway, I was a little worried about us playing so many games in so many days. Last the game the other night, I didn't think that mattered at all against the Celtics. I didn't think it was a matter of being tired. I think it was just a matter of us just being careless and the coach is not making the right moves as far as handling the pressure and things happen. That's why we lost the ball game. I think it had zero to do with tired. Now coming back tonight, I was thinking, well, we had that would be 4 games in 5 days, 6 days. So I was a little worried about that. And yes, I did agree with him talking about how he was going to play more subs simply tonight to rest our starters, and I agree with that. But what did Shea end up playing? I think Shea ended up still have. Let me see, where's my stats here? I think I had my stats, my box score here. Shea ended up with, when you looked at the stats, Shea played 35 minutes, Dort played 34 minutes, and then Wiggins 27, Josh 20, Poku 14, and Wiggins 27. So I don't know how much rest you gave SGA. How much rest did he get? You can't give him rest. Okay, the guy's got to play. You've got to have your best player on the court. But that being said, it seemed like we started out and we were just in slow motion. And I don't know if we were tired or just unengaged. Not necessarily totally unengaged, but weren't really into it. It was just like they're shooting shots all over the place. They're wide open here, wide open there. And I'm just like, okay, guys, it's time for you to get into a rhythm. You got to get something done. And quite frankly, their starters beat the crap out of our starters. Let's face it. Their starters beat up on our starters. That's what happened. Okay? There's no sugarcoating it. There's no try to change it around. Their starters just whooped up on us, and that's exactly what happened. We were not moving on defense. We couldn't get anything going. And then all of a sudden, boom, their subs start coming in, and we're down 18-33. And then all of a sudden, bam, here we go. We were 17 points down. All of a sudden, here we go. And you got SGA, J-Dub, Lindy Waters. Yes, Lindy Waters. We finally had a sighting for Lindy. K-Will and Muscala. And we went on an 8-0 run to close out the quarter. And I'm just like, are you serious right now? 8-0 run, doing everything we needed to do. You brought in the second group. Lindy knocked down a couple shots. SGA was doing his thing. We were playing good defense. We're flying all over the place. We cut down on their open looks, and the Thunder were able to cut into that 17-point lead. So at the end of the first quarter, here are the stats. The Wizards up 37-29 on us after the first quarter, 7 for 10 from 3, and they were like 4 for 5 or 6 for 7 early, and then when the subs came in, that really helped in cutting down on their scoring and what they were able to do. Field goal percentage, 63% from the field. You can see that was mainly the starters. The second team came in and really made a difference with that. 12 rebounds, 10 pips, points in the paint for the Wizards, and 6 turnovers. The Thunder, 3 for 9, started out not cold, but our 30% is what the average of what the Thunder normally shoots. 48% from the field, 7 rebounds, 16 pips, which are points in the paint for the Thunder. And a lot of that, of course, is all SGA because it's what he does. And when he attacks the basket, we don't shoot a lot of threes, and everybody else attacks the basket and gets easy layups. And then bench scoring, the Wizards and the Thunder were each tied up at 6. So you can see right there the first quarter stats were uh, pretty just evenly. Then, even though we were down 8, remember we were down 17 at one point, and then we came back and we got on that 8-0 run to close it out at the end of the first quarter. And like I said, it all depends on our defense. Our defense, I heard what one of the guys, the Thunder announcer, whatever, he was talking about, Thunder get out in transition. Really? No, it's not necessarily getting out in transition, as in we're getting our hands up in their three-point shooters' faces. They're getting long rebounds. Then we're in transitions. Now, then we do make a couple of easy baskets off free throws, but it's mainly we're getting in games because we're getting our hands in their faces. They're shooting long rebounds. We're catching at the free throw, between the free throw and three-point line and attacking the basket. That's what's happening here, okay? So is it transitional getting out and running? It's not really running because to me, running is taking the ball out of bounds. Boom, one pass, 2 passes, you're up and down the court, already in half court, in the other side. That's running. We are methodical. We bring the ball up. We have a half court style offense because Shea is not an up and down guy. He's a half court guy. That's how he makes his money. And we're scoring a lot of points because he's scoring a lot of points, and because we're shooting a lot of baskets in the paint. That's why we're scoring a lot of points. It's not like we're jacking up a bunch of threes and knocking them down, because that's not even it, even though we will talk about the stats. So the second quarter, Thunder down 29-37. You start J-Dub, K-Will, J-Will. Hey, so you got both the Jalen Williamses in there, the J-Dub and J-Will. I know my boy Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com likes that. Robinson Earl and Lindy Waters. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting group to start out with. You really don't have a point guard. J-Dub's your point guard. Lindy's your other guard. Made me a little nervous, but what ended up happening is we got out to an 8-0 run. So we were on a 16-0 run and tied in the score up at 37-37 with 8:33 to go. And these group, once again, just flying all over the place. Our second team was better than their second team tonight. Their first team just killed us the first quarter. I mean, just murdered us the first quarter. And even towards the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, they came back. Their first team was just better than our first team tonight in the first half. But the subs came in and did exactly what we needed them to do. They kept the run going. And then all of a sudden, we have SGA, Waters, Robinson Earl, J-Dub, J-Will. And they went boom, 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 we're down 10. And it's once again, you playing players 2 minutes too long. 2 minutes too long. You can't do that. You just can't. And he just does it over and over and over. He gets these guys, they get into a groove, and he's like, oh, we're in a groove. No, timeout's been called. Time for a different group. That group made its point. It did its thing. Sub those guys out who don't play. They're G League players. You can't keep them in the game. And, of course, he does what he does, and they go on a 17-5 run. That coach, I'm just like, dude, I don't understand your thinking. I just don't get it. I really don't. They're going on a run. We caught them. Okay, it's time. Once they start coming back on us, then you've got to take out and get those guys out there. I like Lindy. He should have been gone. He's in there 3, 4, 5 minutes. Bam, he's out. Okay, you knock down some shots, great. Okay, now it's time for the other guys to come back in. Thank you, Lindy. Good job. We'll see if we can put you back in later. Go sit down. But no, you leave him in there. And he played his butt off and he played hard, but he's just not in the rotation enough, and it just screws it up. And they went on a 17-5 run. And then when you bring in SGA, Dort, Josh, Poku, and Robinson Earl, It was too late. It was just too late. I don't understand it. He's just, my guy Mark Long, dubbed the coach, Coach D. 2 minutes too long. He's a 2 minutes too long guy. And then he gets away from it, and then he comes back to 2 minutes too long. And then he'll get away from it, and then he's 2 minutes too long. But he is 2 minutes too long coach. That's what he is. And it's just sad about it, and it's very frustrating because I think the Thunder are going to outgrow this guy for us to go to another level. And the question is, does management and ownership think we're ready to go to another level? That's what it ultimately comes down to. Now, I believe that we are, but that's just me. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm not in the middle. So, that being said, uh, second quarter, here are the stats for the second quarter. Uh, the Wizards, of course, rolling the way that they were rolling, up to 67-54, because like I said, remember they went on a 17-5 run. Then, of course, the Wizards' field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, 14 of 20 for 55%, 21 rebounds, 18 pips, 8 turnovers, and then Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, are 7. Remember, we were 4 for 9. 4 for 9. So we went 3 for 7 second half. So it's not bad. That's close to 50%. Not bad for threes. But, it's when, like I said, it's not taking threes, it's when you take them. 47% from the field for the Thunder, 19 rebounds, 24 pips, points in the paint with 6 turnovers. Bench scoring, of course, the Wizards at 17, the Oklahoma City Thunder at 19. 19 bench points. Wizards 17 bench points. And as you know, so go the Thunder, so go our bench. And if our bench can step up and make plays, it makes all the difference for what the Thunder can and cannot do. So that being said, let's give our sponsors some love right now, because without them, we would not be on the air. We want to thank Collaborative Logic. If you have any computer needs, you want to build you need a website built. If you want your office to run more efficiently through emails and text messaging through the better office productivity. Why can't I talk tonight? Better office productivity. I went to Oklahoma State. I should be able to talk. Man. Anyway, and then of course SRB. If you have any engineering, surveying, or planning, you can talk to my guy Mark Long over there, Oak Grove Trucking. Congratulations, Jose, on your contract to do some hauling. I'm proud of you, my brother. Good job of that. If you've got any rocks or dirt that need to be moved, he is the man at Oak Grove Trucking. And then Greg and Max Nafee at Nafe Co. And last but not least, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC. If you want to pre-qualify for any loans, cars, boats, houses, RVs, and for us to the golf carts, commercial property, you can contact them at www.ynbok.com. That's ynbok.com if you want to pre-qualify. And then after you do that, or you can just go in and see Joe Horn, Nathan Taylor, Carson Wright. If you just want to go in and say that. And of course, you can come see my big sister, Drew's mama, Carolyn Henthorne, if you want to do that. That's something that is more than accessible as well. Just make sure that you're ready to do a loan when you go see Carolyn, because she don't play around. Okay? She don't play. Just saying. Anyway, start the third quarter. The Thunder are losing 54-67. The keys for me for this was to start off is to get off a good start, i.e. SGA. SGA needed to get off to a good start. And that's part of what I needed for the Thunder to do, is to get off to a good start, but mainly him, because once he gets growing, once he gets going, what ends up happening is as he flows, as he goes, then everybody else, it takes the pressure off them, and everybody else can just play within rhythm. Because remember I talked about don't play within yourselves. part of the keys. Well, as long as SGA is rolling, everybody plays within themselves. Nobody's trying to do too much of what they can't do, i.e. Dort, i.e. Poku. They start doing things, i.e. K. Will. They start doing a bunch of stuff that they're just not capable because they're like, well, somebody's got to do something. I might as well do it. Well, no. You can't do it. Okay? You can't do it. They can do it. You can't do it. So, and then we got to get some stops. Okay? You've got to get some stops. And then what I mean by that is get some stops. Get your hand. Quit giving them wide open looks. Get your hand in their face. Make them take some long shots. Get them uncomfortable. Don't let them get to their spots. And what I mean about getting to your spot is, getting to the spot is catching to a spot where I like to get to the elbow, or I like to get to the 3-point line on the angle, or I like to be over here. So what you've got to do is you've got to continue to put them in uncomfortable situations, making them miss shots so that you can get out in transition by getting some easy baskets. And if you can do that, it makes all the difference in the world if you can do that. And so anyway, that's just my thunder. So and then let's start off with who's going to start. He mixed it up just a little bit. You went SGA, Wiggins, Dort, Waters, and Robinson Earl. Josh didn't start. Started Lindy. Once again, here he goes coaching. Oh, boy. Frustrating. But I will say this. The Thunder lead the NBA in third quarter point differential, 4.1 points in point differential, okay, in the third quarter, which is good for us because us being down by 13 is huge. But anyway, that being said, Thunder get off to a good start. We start rolling, and a lot of that has to do with who did I say? Who did I say need to get off a good start? Who did I say needs to roll us in? Who did I say needs to start rolling as he rolls, the Thunder rolls? SGA. And that's exactly what happened. He started rolling, and then it was going, and we were firing on all pistons after that. And then with 4:51 to go, we're up 74. We're down 74-79. We have SGA, Dort, K. Will, Wiggins, and Lindy Waters in there. And let me say, Lindy Waters played good. Lindy Waters played really, really good. And I've talked about that before. He played really well. I can't say anything bad about his performance tonight. I mean, he came up and he lifted the Thunder up when we really needed to and made some things happen, and I was really pleased with what I saw from Lindy. But anyway, we kept right on rolling, and then all of a sudden, with 3 minutes and 7 seconds to go, we're up 82-81. And you have SGA, Wiggins, K. Will, J. Dub, and Lindy Waters. Now, don't get used to hearing the name Lindy Waters in there. Getting baskets, okay? Don't don't get used to that. But Lindy played really well. He played really well, and that's part of what the Thunder need. The support staff. You've got to have like the Pokus and the Lindy Waters and these guys like that. Omen Yuri. Those guys have to step up. Baisley. You got to have somebody that's your seventh, eighth. Your eighth, ninth guy, sometimes your 10th guy step up and have a big game and make big buckets and big points. And Lindy definitely did that, but the main guy is the one who did what he needed to do. Shea had 17 in the quarter. Dude, he's just a monster. And remember, the last person we had that was this good was KD. That could just take over games and was smart and made good decisions and did what he had to do, and that was unselfish. I don't like his unselfishness, but I prefer him to be a little bit more selfish, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the quarter, end of the game, he made a pass, we missed the shot, and I'm like, why are you passing the ball? If it's not Josh Giddey, you take the shot. And my other guy was Trey Mann. I didn't Trey shooting wide open. But everybody else, no, you shoot. If Josh ain't there, you shoot. You don't pass. And he's slowly getting that in his head, and he passed, and we missed. And then, of course, he made the three-pointer at the end to do that. So, that being said, here are the third quarter stats for the Thunder, if I can get to it. You can see it right here. Thunder 2-point lead. Of course, what a great shot at the buzzer. Lee Waters, bam. Thunder up 89-87. And the Wizards 16 for 28 from 3, 50% field goal percentage. Excuse me. 31 rebounds, 28 pips, 15 turnovers. OKC Thunder 12 for 24, 53%, 28 rebounds, 36 pips, points in the paint, and 10 turnovers. I really like that number. 10 turnovers. 10 turnovers. Nice little number, because the other day it was, at this point, 14. Then a bunch of them had happened, or 13, and happened right there at the end of the quarter. Thunder doing a great job, and why? SGA had the ball in his hands, taking over, doing SGA stuff. And you can see where the bench scoring, a lot of that's Lindy Waters coming off the bench, doing what he did, J-Dub doing what he did. And so Thunder, Kendrick Williams as well. Let me give him some love. Thunder up 30-27 as far as bench scoring and taking the lead going into the fourth quarter. And remember, what is the Thunder differential? 4.1, which leads the league in third quarter point differential, which makes all the difference. And a lot of that is just SGA doing SGA stuff. That's what he does. He takes over games, and that's what he should do at the end of the first quarter, because remember, he plays all of the first quarter and all of the third quarter, usually, unless coach decides to take him out for whatever reason that he does what he does when he does what he does. So to start the fourth quarter, the Thunder are up 89-87, and he trots out Josh, Dort, Poku, J-Dub, and Muscala. And I'm like, okay, this is not a bad group. We may be okay. We may be okay. And then what ends up happening? The Thunder just get a nice start. We stay with them. We don't let their pressure affect us. They're making shots. We're making shots. And the thing that I liked is with 6:37 to go, 6:35, we've got 101 to 98 point lead. Okay. And you've got Josh, Dort, Wiggins, K. Will, and J Dub in there. And you did have Lindy Waters in there before doing that little run there. And so I'm thinking, okay, it's 101, 101 with 5 minutes to go. Excuse me. I'm sorry, it's 105, 105. Excuse me, 101, 101. And I'm like, where the hell is SGA? Not in the game, they call timeout. Remember what I was talking about that? 5 minutes. What the hell are you doing? Get your best player in the game. I'm done talking about that. So anyway, it's 103, 105, and then he steps in, puts him in there with 5 minutes to go, and bam, what does he do? Tie the score up immediately. I'm like, thank you. I mean, thank you. And then, of course, what a great heads-up play by the Thunder being able to score later. So we're going back and forth. Everybody's into a groove. And then it's 116, 116. And then there was kind of a hustle deal, or what is it? I guess it was kind of, they were fighting for the ball. All of a sudden, the Thunder got a chance to get a breakout. Nice heads-up pass. Kendrick Williams on the finish. All of a sudden, the Thunder are up 118, 116. It happened just that fast, because once Shea got in the game at 105, 103, 105, tied it up with 5 to go, then it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it was 116, 116. We made a great defensive play. Their players went for the ball. We had a chance to get an easy basket. We did, and we scored 118, 116 with 59 seconds to go. And that was part of what I was saying, and it kind of went back and forth. And then I think it was 30 seconds or so to go in the game. And it's 118, 116, and SGA passes the ball. And I have in my notes right here, don't pass. Don't pass. Right here in my notes. Don't pass. And he passes the ball. Of course, Bradley Beal comes down and scores 118, 118. Excuse me, 120, It was 118-118. He passed it. Bradley Beal comes down and scores, makes it 120-118 with 6 seconds left. And then, of course, SJ knocks down the three. And my thing is this, bro, what the hell were you doing passing the ball in the first place? I don't get that. If you're not passing it to Josh, first of all, I don't think you should pass it to anybody because nobody can stop you one-on-one. And you have the way his hesitation and the way he glides and the way he's able to sliver in between people and bodies and avoid charges and be able to get the shot off. And he's long with his long reach and length that he uses so well on his scoops and layups. It's just amazing to watch. So I'm like, why are you passing the ball? And then, of course, what does he do? Down two, knocks down the three with 1.1 seconds to go. And unlike the Bucks game, there was not a foul, and he did it. But SGA, don't pass the ball. I'd much rather, and now more and more fans in Oklahoma City will agree with me, dude, we'd much rather you shoot the ball and miss than you pass and let somebody else shoot and make it. Because the odds greatly increase if you're shooting the ball versus somebody else. The odds greatly increase if you're shooting the ball versus passing the ball. For us, for the Thunder. Okay? So we prefer that you shoot the ball, please. And thank you for making the shot. Thunder go up 121-120. And loved what I saw for the Thunder tonight. Here is the box. Well, that's the box score. Let me get to the end of the game. Sorry. We haven't got to the box score yet. Anyway, the Wizards falling to the Thunder 121-120. The Wizards are now 8-7. The Thunder are 7-8 with that's inverted records. But the Thunder should be, like I said, the Thunder should be 9-6 right now instead of 7-8. I think that's a bunch of crap. But anyway, it is what it is, and you just got to fight through, and it's probably helped them galvanize them more as a group by doing that. 3-point percentage, the Wizards ended up being 17 for 34, 51% from the field, 41 rebounds, 42 pips, which are points in the paint that I say often. 19 turnovers, and then, of course, OKC 16 for 31. That's right. You heard me correctly. Oklahoma City 16 for 31 from three. Y'all might take a picture of that. 16 to 31. 54% from the field, 37 rebounds, 50 points in the paint. Only 15 turnovers. You got to keep them down. Kind of like that. And then, of course, we outscored their bench 37 to 27. And, you know, one of my favorite things to do is compare the first half to the second half. Those of you who follow our show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. How we do that. Because to me, it's very important that you be able to see the difference between the first half and second half. Because to me, that makes all the difference in the world when you can compare the stats. Because what that ends up doing is that it allows you as a fan to be able to see the difference in when the coaches make changes and what they do from first half to second half for the Thunder. Because I believe the more knowledgeable you are about the game as a fan, the more that you will enjoy the game. Because the more that you know about something, the more your interest level goes up. So my job is to inform you guys as much as possible about what wins look like, what happens with the Thunder, and how they do the different things that they do. But anyway, you can see 3-point percentage. The Wizards 14 for 20, so they ended up being 3. Okay. Yes, 3 for 14 the second half. And what was one of our keys? Getting their hands up, cutting out on the open looks. So right there made all the difference in the world in the second half. And the reason why we were able to win the game is because of that. And then you can see field goal percentage. They were shooting 55% the first half, cut down to 51. Getting a hand up in their face, not giving them open looks, contesting their shots, keeping them off of their spots. And once again, spots means people like to get to a certain spot, whether that's the wing, baseline, elbow, whatever it is on the court. You make somebody get them off the spot, and the great ones always get to the spot. Like, there's nothing you can do like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You knew the sky hook was coming. You knew he was going to get to the spot, and you did your best to push him out, but it just didn't matter. Anyway, Thunder did a good job of that, and you can see Pips points in the paint. We were only up 6 at half, and we ended up winning by 8. So gained 2 points there. You can see turnovers. They had 11 turnovers the second half, and we caused 11 turnovers for them in second half, and they caused 9 for us. And then look at the field goal percentage for the Thunder. 7 for 16 in the first half from 3, 16 for 31 the second half. So we were 9 for 15 the second half of 3. And why? Getting out in transition, getting wide open looks in flow. And what I mean is when you're in flow or you're in rhythm, it makes it a lot easier to make shots. It makes it a lot easier to make easier decisions because you're in the flow. You're in rhythm. It helps. And part of that is when you're in the flow, you got shots, things are coming to you quickly. It's easier for you to make decisions when you're in the flow. And you can see it, that's what happened. And then, of course, field goal percentage, we were at 47% for half, went up to 54%. Rebounds, they out-rebounded us by 2 the first half, and look what happened the second half. We out-rebounded them. They out-rebounded us by 2 more. So that was my bad. I totally misread that. They gained 2 rebounds on us. Shocking. Okay. Anyway, bench scoring. We had 19, so we outscored them by 2. We ended up outscoring them by 10. A lot of that had to do with Lindy Waters. And then, of course, box scoring. SGA, once again, look at that efficiency. 42 points, 14 for 21. Now, if Russell had 42 points, he'd have 40 shots. That's the difference between the two. Kevin Durant, if he had 42 points, he'd have about that same type of a stat line, except that he would be 7 for 11 from 3 or 9 for 13 from 3. That would be the different stat line. SGA does his work at the free throw line, and of course, God, he was awful from the free throw line. He shot 70% tonight, and he was second in the league at 94%. Can't believe he missed that many free throws tonight. Anyway, 14 for 21, 2 for 3 from 3, including the biggie, the game winner to finish that off. 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 7 assists, and 1 block. And it seems like he's averaging a blocker and a half a game because he's got those long arms. And the Thunder are winning, playing by committee as far as inside on defense. So I like what they're doing there. Josh Giddey, 11 points, 5 for 11, 1 for 3. I'm glad he cut down on his three-point shooting. 5 for 11 from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 2 assists. And a lot of that is he's struggling with the sophomore blues because that's what happens to several players when their sophomore season. They tend to slack down just a tad. That's what they do. Lou Dort, 16 points, 6 for 12 from the field. 3 for 6 from 3. He likes to shoot the threes, but 50%. His percentages are coming up. 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers, 3 assists, 1 block. And when Lou plays in, he just catches and shoots and doesn't try to rush and tries to take threes inside the scope of the offense instead of trying to press and make them happen. He's a much better shooter. Poku, man, played good tonight. His numbers really don't look like it, but he had the 3 blocks were huge when he got them. And anyway, 8 points, 3 for 4, 2 for 3. Wiggins, 7 rebounds, 7 points, 3 for 5, 1 for 1. Robinson Earl, 8 points, 2 for 3, 1 for 2. Lindy Waters, 3 for 7. 3 for 7. Darn near 50%. Got to have him now. If he's on the court, he's got to knock down threes. And if he's not, then he's just not useless he's useless to us. But he did get a couple steals. He had 4 rebounds. J-Dub, 10 points, just doing what J-Dub does. 4 for 11. We need to get that up just a bit. He needs to be around 6 for 11, somewhere around that. 5 for 11, somewhere around 4 for 11. It's not. He's one shot short of where I think he needs to be. 2 for 4 from 3. Very nice. I'll take that. Jay Will got some good minutes in, even though he was 0 for 1, did not score. I thought he played really well in his length. That's 2 games in a row, and we can use him when we play athletic guys. Kendrick Williams, nice game by Kendrick tonight. 9 points, 4 for 6, 1 for 2, 5 rebounds. Can't complain about his play at all tonight. It was very, very good. And then Mike Muscala doing what Muscala does. What normally does, excuse me, he did not do what Muscala normally does. He got 1 point, just missed the free throw, but that happens with him. Uh, he is one of those guys where if he's not knocking down threes, then he's really kind of useless to you because he's slow of foot, doesn't really move that well, and if he's not knocking down shots, especially against athletic guys, he kills you on the defensive side of the basketball. And if you're going to win on this league, and especially our team, because we are undersized and a lot of times undermanned, and we are the youngest team in the NBA. So I like what I see tonight. The Thunder, I'm proud of what we're doing. I'm proud of what we're accomplishing right now. And like I said, my over-under was 31 wins. I thought over and under was 26. Chet got hurt. It dropped to 23. And then we're almost there. We're 1/3 of the way to 23 wins. And, we're 15 games into the season with 65 more to go, 67 more to go. So we'll be fine. I think if we continue at this clip, uh, every 15 games we will be right at where I think we need to be because 60 more games, that's 4 more times, that's 28. That's about right. 28 games, 28 wins. 31 wins is about what I thought we'd get, and we should have. Like I said, we should be 9-6 right now instead of where we're at. So that being said, nice win by the Thunder. They come back and beat them, being down 17. Yes, 17. Give up a 15-point lead to the Celtics and lose, and then come back from 17 down against the Wizards on the road and improving to 7-8 with a 121-120 victory over the Washington Wizards. Want to thank everybody for watching this edition of After the Storm. Remember, go to YouTube, search After the Storm, OKC Thunder. Subscribe, like, hit notification button, and every time we're on, you'll be able to see us, as well as the Unpopular Hour. Go to it, Unpopular Hour, Matt Clark. Subscribe, like, notifications, and hopefully we can build that up and get to where we want to be as far as viewership in that. And then also, like I said, remember, pretty soon you'll be able to call me in, talk to me on the phone through Skype, and then get our number in, so you'll be able to call me in and talk to us on the phone, and we'll like to have that. I'd like to hear your input, as well as if you want to go to Facebook and leave me a message, because I can't check it until I get done. But if you want to leave me a message and talk to me and ask me questions on that, feel free to do that as well. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of After the Storm, your Oklahoma City post-game analysis.